Okay, there we go. So, um, now let me see, Vegan Travel Summit.
Okay, while Donna's getting ready and putting us on all the proper places, I'm going to take a quick moment and introduce myself. My name is Gretchen Sheridan. I have the Vegan Travel Club, and I specialize in Ireland, Croatia, and Italy. And today we're talking about Ireland and all the great things and new things that are up and happening in honor of St. Patrick's Day, which is tomorrow, which is a great
Yeah.
time to visit Ireland. There's a lot happening. It's not for everybody, St. Patty's Day, but it is fun. They do have certain things on St. Patty's Day they don't have other times of the year. Some great things are the Irish dancing. I don't know, Don, have you ever seen an Irish dancing show?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Well,
Yeah.
just so everyone knows, I'm also a certified Ireland specialist, and I think I need to up my certification again soon. But yes, I've been going to Ireland for the past 25 years. So yeah,
Yeah.
we have Irish dancing around here,
Yeah. Yeah.
actually around here as well.
So I guess we can start, I guess the major cities. Let's hit the major cities because I mean I feel like I'm always talking about the same things, but because so many people ask me questions about the major cities, I think that you should always go over them anyway because I think a lot of people just don't know what's going
Right.
on over there. Ireland is an island, of course. There's two countries in one island. That's Great Britain, which is Northern Ireland, the 6 counties, and then the main Republic of Ireland, which is I don't know how many counties the Republic of Ireland is, but it's a lower part of it. So there's a the major the capital, I guess, is Dublin. Is that right, Donna? Dublin is the capital of Ireland, I believe so.
Yes.
It's the main
Actually,
international
let me
airport.
find out before I say yes, because it
Yeah,
might be
I believe it
Belfast.
is because it's like the center of everything, but I could be wrong. But anyway, there's two major airports. There's the Dublin airport and the Shannon airport. From Boston, it's a quick flight, 6.5 hours, maybe. From the East Coast, really easy and sometimes super cheap.
It's actually
From
not only the capital, but it's the largest city of Ireland.
It's the
And
largest city of
we
Ireland.
should have known that. I
Yeah,
should have known that.
largest city, but I have to say that even Ireland is a big, for as far as islands go, it's a very big island. You know, it's not a big country, but it's a big island. And I have been around it, oof, I think completely around it driving, probably 4 times
Yeah.
completely in a big loop, from Belfast to Dublin to like the Kilkenny, Waterford, then through Cork, up through Killarney and Dingle and the Burn, the whole wild Atlantic Way. Then you got up to Galway. And what is Kong? That's a beautiful area. Kong, and that there's another name. I always forget it. Is it Sligo? S
Sligo.
Sligo. And
Yes.
then it goes up to where my family's from, the Sheridans, and they're up in a part of the north of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, which there isn't it's the Dungle area. There's not a lot up
The
there.
Dingle area or the Dun
I'm sorry, it is Dingle. It's Dingle. No, it's not Dingle, it's Donegal.
Oh, Donegal. Yes, yes,
Donegal.
yes.
See,
Sorry.
I know.
Yes, you're
I see.
right.
Eventually, we got it right. It's very late here for me, so I'm a little loopy. But so I went there to see my one of my grandfather's relatives, maybe 10, 12 years ago when my kids were young, with my mother, and we did all of Ireland in one shot. So my mother was a travel agent for 37 years. So she had traveled extensively and gone to Ireland extensively, but had never been all the way up there because that area is very far up and
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
touristy. But so in all these years between the two of us, Donna, we have seen it all. I don't think there's a
I haven't.
corner of it that we haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the Ring of Kerry yet. That's next on my list, and I haven't seen. I think that's about it. There's like maybe one or two areas that I haven't hit up. But
Right.
yeah, it's actually become a big thing this year because our president is from Ireland. He's got Irish background. And
So
actually the prime minister of Ireland is here right now.
in Washington, D.C.,
Yes.
Oh, nice. And what is he doing in Washington DC?
They're just having meetings. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I mean, um, I think that there's a special place in all Americans' hearts for Ireland because it's, I mean, everybody knows an Irish person, everybody knows the Irish songs. We all know what a clover is and an Irish cross, and I don't know. We've seen it's so much part of the American society. Our Irish is Irish culture. You know, we have Irish pubs
Everyone
and
is
Irish
Irish.
beers. Yeah, everybody. I mean, we just,
Everyone has a little bit of Irish. You can even be Jewish and still have Irish in you because the mayor of Ireland years ago was Jewish. So there you go. A mayor of
hits all
Dublin.
the
Sorry.
bases. It hits all the bases. So in this chat, I just wanted to go over some of the newer things that are going on. So, or at least new to me. So what I found lately is the Derry Halloween. Have you heard of the Derry Halloween, Donna?
You just turned me on to it. I
Okay,
know
so
that Halloween is like a huge thing in Ireland, and just to give some little bit of background that, you know, if anybody's watching, that's where Halloween started. Basically, the pagans started that. I don't know what century it was. I need to look that up, but yeah.
yes, it goes back to the Vikings and those folks and their the Scandinavians and the northern people's culture, the spirit of Halloween.
Right.
But Derry, or Londonderry, however you want to call it, has a huge festival every year. It's equivalent to the Venetian Carnival. That's how
Really?
good it is. Oh yeah, it's amazing. They do it for 4 days. So it's 4 days up to Halloween. Is 31st of October is the last of the days. And they're full days. They do them in the day, they do them in the afternoon. They have I think 4 major events each day, and then sprinkled in is all the little minor events that they have going on. So
Right.
and they're really, really creative. I mean, if you could see if you can sign up for our newsletter, you'll get our next edition, which is coming out in a few weeks, really gives a good description of what it's going to be for 2023. So you might want to get that information, or you can email Donna and she can
Yeah.
give you the information too. But they really go all out and it's really unique. It's really unique. So and
I
that
just
time of year,
realized where this where the video went. It went to a page that's not open. We are in the Vegan Travel Summit though, so let's keep
okay,
talking. I'm just gonna
okay.
get that all fixed up, all right?
Okay, okay. Why Donna fixes that, her technical difficulties will continue on.
That's why I couldn't find it.
So when if you want to stop and spend, I would say 2 days. I mean, 4 days of Halloween can be a little much. All right. 2 days, 2 nights in Derry to do the Halloween, if you can, it's great. And it's good for everyone. So it's good if you have family, because the Irish are always thinking of their families and they always make it kid friendly. And then it's good if you're a group of guests or a solo traveler, and you know, or
Yeah.
if you're a couple, it's good for all those things. And then I would scoot on over to Belfast. Right behind me is the Belfast City Hall. Belfast, I can't say enough about it. It's great. It's vibrant city. It's very young. And when I say young, I mean 30s and 40s are the main, you know, groups of people. And it's just, this
Gretchen,
is, yes, what's the matter?
I hate to tell you this. I don't think it's public. Shit.
All right, let's turn it off and start again.
Started again. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm gonna get a glass of wine though, because now it's
Go get a
starting
glass of wine.
at this
Yeah, we're
hour,
gonna
Donna.
need it after this. You know, I'm like, what the hell is going
At
on
this
this?
hour, Minority
Because we have
Loopy.
another Vegan Travel Association page that I started, and
Okay, well,
that's
you
where
set
it
it up.
ended
You set it up.
up.
Hold on. Let me get a glass of water, and I'm gonna though tonight I'm gonna have my cherry liqueur because I've been meaning to drink it, but I haven't had an occasion to drink it on. So this is
Well,
the
now
night.
you need it.
Let me get it set up.
Can't believe this. All right. That's why I couldn't find it. Because we have 2 association pages. So now this should work.
Okay, what 2 association pages do we have? We have the summit and the
No, I started like I started a Vegan Travel Association page, and then I just didn't use that one, and I don't know how to delete it. So this one should work.
okay.
All right. That's why I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, how am I finding this? We should be going live again. We'll just get drunk. I'm gonna have a
Chin
beer.
chin. I think you should. If I had a beer, I'd take one, but I don't have any. All I have is this liqueur from Ukraine.
All right, so now let me send to a group. Here we go. And share it. Vegan Travel
Says-
Summit.
It says Facebook Live.
We're gonna have to start. Somebody's on there now.
Okay, great.
You want to start?
I do. Hello, everyone. My
Sorry
name's
about all
Gretchen.
that.
My name is Gretchen Sheridan from the Vegan Travel Club. And I'm here tonight with Donna from Green Earth Travel, and we're going to talk all things Ireland. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. Chin chin if you have a drink or a beer. I don't have a beer, but I have a little
I might get one in a bit. I
call
have
it
a
cordial.
pineapple mint thing going on here. That doesn't count, does it?
I think everything counts. But anyway, let's get right to it. We
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about Ireland, what's there to offer, what it's got, all the classics, what's coming up new. So for anybody who doesn't know the history, a little bit of history about Ireland. Ireland is an island composed of 2 parts, 2 countries, Great Britain, which is the Northern Ireland part, and the Republic of Ireland, which is the lower part. The capital is Dublin, the biggest city in Ireland with the international airport. And the second airport is in Shannon. And then there's one in Belfast. Both of those are smaller airports. They're pretty well connected. The Belfast one, you probably have to go to London first from the US. I don't think there's direct flights, but from Dublin, you can get direct flights. And it's for short. The East Coast is short. It's 6.5 hours. I think it's 7 hours if you're coming from the southern part, like Florida. But if you're coming from Boston, I don't even think it's 6 hours, Don. Is it 6-hour flight from Boston? I don't
From
think so.
Boston, it's about 6 hours.
It might be a little shy. of
Yeah,
6.
so it's like going to California if you're on the
Yeah,
East
it's
Coast.
nice. That's
It's
great.
really not bad at all.
Yeah. Going to Europe in 6 hours is fantastic.
Yeah.
So some of the new things that are coming up and are very interesting is the Derry Halloween. So it isn't actually new. It's been going on for some time, but it's just gotten really, really good. I think that some parts of tourism, when COVID hit, they had a break, and some people were like, "Oh, we're cashing in our chips. We're out of here. We're done." And then other groups of people were like, "Oh, we have the time to make this fantastic." And that's
Right.
what happened with London Dairy, or Derry, however you want to pronounce it. It had made this Halloween that is now the best festival in Europe. I mean, it's crazy how intricate they're making this festival for 4 days. They're
Well, I
calling
mean,
it
it's,
the
yeah, Ireland is I mean, is the old, that's where Halloween originated. Basically, the pagans originated that there. And there's a whole story which I can find in a few minutes for you while you're talking. But so it is a big thing there. And it's great to know about this festival. So I'm sorry, do you want to go ahead with this? Is that in Belfast, by the way, your photo?
Yes, this
Can
is
we
City
just
Hall.
talk about that for a
Yeah.
moment?
This is City Hall. Actually, this building behind me. I'm going to try to move so you can see it better. This
Yeah.
building behind me is gorgeous. So this is not the front or the side. It's like this on all 4 sides.
Right.
And they change the color every day. So right now you're looking at it blue. Tomorrow it might be red. It might be multiple colors. It might be what they change the color, just like do the Empire State Building or whatever. But it is so beautiful. And I think it's Monday, they have the market that goes completely around City Hall. And the market has everything. So vegan stalls is about 10 different vegan stalls that have food, but they don't have just food. They have all kinds of things. So you
Oh,
could
it's
just,
great.
I believe it's every Monday, but I have to double check on that.
So I wanted to show everyone my photo here because this is
That's
probably,
very
now you
pretty.
can't see me at all, but this is probably about since 2009.
Is
And this
that
is,
the burn? Is that the burn?
that's in the Burn, and it's at a bed and breakfast that is the oldest bed and breakfast in Ireland. And it's called Rocky View B&B. It's right on the Burn. She is a fabulous cook, but she doesn't do dinners anymore. She just does breakfast, but she's still pretty good. So yes, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, the Burn's one of my favorites. I just think that's such a great area. It's so beautiful there. And it's just it's good for a whole bunch of things because it's right in the center of Ireland.
If you like
So
the wildlife,
no, but
if
not
you
even
like,
that. Not
yeah,
even that. It has some really great, well, of course,
the
the Burn,
pubs,
yeah, the Burn has a Cliffs of Moher. So that's like the biggest attraction, right?
right?
It's on the right, the Wild Atlantic Way. And then they have the music town that's right next to the Cliffs of Moher, which is called, what's the name of that music town, Donna, that we go to every year?
Doolin.
Doolin. That's right.
It's that was my cat's name. I named my
Yes.
cat after,
That's right.
I have a like a thing going with cats. And so she was Doolin. And then I have Bap, who was named after a friend of mine, a famous Irish musician, Bap Kennedy. And now I have Bloom after Ulysses,
Yeah,
which I've never read Ulysses, but
it's a good book.
I'm
But
gonna,
anyway,
I'm gonna start.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So that so if you have, I think 8 days is a good introductory to Ireland, but if you have 12 days, I think that's even better. You know, of course, more vacation is better, but 12 days, I think you can really get, really get a lot of stuff. You can do a little bit of Northern Ireland, 3 days in Northern Ireland, and then you can do 8 days in the Republic of Ireland. And I think you can hit some of the must-see places. So the next time you go, because I think Ireland is a place that you can go year after year after year, and you'll never be bored with it. It's super,
no,
it feels like home. It really does. I love going to Ireland. I go at least once a year, if not twice. And I just enjoy it. And then people, the Irish people are what really make it extra special because they remember you. Uh, they're welcoming. So when I go to the same place, it's like I just talked to them yesterday. I haven't been
yeah,
there for a year, and I walk in, it's like I talked to them yesterday.
and they
So
remember
it's
you.
and they remember you. Yeah, well, they do because I mean because it's small. Even though Ireland is not a small island, it's pretty big as far as islands go. It does have, it's made up of little villages. Even Dublin,
I
for being the
think
biggest city, it's not
it's
that
the
big of a city. It's a walkable city.
it's the size of Rhode Island, so it's actually small. I remember that because I had to take a test on it. But the thing is that when you're driving 60 miles, people tend to forget, they think 60 miles, they can get there in an hour or less. And it takes more like an hour and a half to 2 hours because you got sheep and whatever else running the streets,
Yeah,
and
I
the
mean,
streets are very narrow. So,
the roads have gotten better. The roads have gotten
yeah.
much better. In the
Oh,
last
yeah.
10 years, you can loop around all of Ireland on a regular size bus or a car fairly quickly. They're major highways. There are 6 lanes, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. But then as soon as you get off of the main road, then you're talking about very small streets,
Right.
and country. It's country. Ireland is very country. So if you're doing the Ring of Kerry, you're talking about the same kind of road you would go on the Amalfi Coast with,
Right.
or you would go on Pacific Highway with, or one of those kinds of, very small, windy roads. And, that's what you're going to encounter once you get off the main loop that goes all the way around Ireland. But I mean, there's a lot to see. I think the must-sees are Dublin, Galway, the Burn, which is not one place, but a series of small places, um, Cork, and Kilkenny. One thing I do want to mention about Kilkenny that some people may not know is a good time to go this year is the catwalk. Did you do the catwalk, Donna, last year when you went
Well,
with
it was
us?
2019. Seems like it was last year.
Oh, 2019 was the last time you went with me.
Yeah, just because
Okay.
of COVID and other things, but yeah.
So Kilkenny made a catwalk. And what it is it's a series of cat sculptures by 21 different artists. And they put a map,
Right.
and you walk around all of Kilkenny, which is a small village. I mean, it must be a half an hour walk. You see everything in the whole town, and you go, they give you this little like, it's like a little, treasure hunt map. And you go around to look, at all of the cats, and they're all named by different artists. You can take pictures with them, and this and that. So it's only up, this year's the last year for it. So it's a good time to see it. And if you're going to go, you need to stop in Kilkenny. So you go to the castle first and see the castle, because it's one of the best preserved castles in Ireland. And you can get a
Right.
tour to go inside. It's only guided. You can only get a guided tour. It's not free to go in. And then you can walk around Kilkenny. There's one brewery that's vegan, and I think it's what was the name of that one? Schmitz. I think it's spelled Schmitz, but they pronounce it a little bit
The
differently.
whiskey place? Wait.
It does have whiskey, but it's mainly a beer place. It's a beer place, but it is also a vegan beer, even though they don't say it's vegan beer. We did check it, and they are a vegan beer. And then Kilkenny itself is a great little walk. I mean, all little teeny boutiques and small places, a lot of little bars, a lot of good whiskeys, a lot of vegan spots. There was, I think, 3 vegan cafes in Kilkenny, plus there's the Italian restaurant that we go to every year that does the set menu, the set vegan menu, which is really nice. He does a very good job. He does like soups, a little in between, like salady kind of appetizer, bite-sized something, and then he does a main course, and that could be anything. I think one time we had like a lentil loaf, one time we had like shepherd's pie. He does like classic, the vegan twist on classic Irish dishes, which I think is nice, because a lot of Americans want to taste like the real, the old school Irish stuff when they go. And if you have someone that can veganize that well, it's fun, because none of those are vegan. Shepherd pie,
Right.
fish
Well,
and
Ireland
chips.
has really, really come a long way with vegan stuff. I mean, I
And
started
so
going
much.
there in the late 90s, I want to say, and there was like nothing.
Oh
Nothing. I
my
mean, I
God.
stayed at that B&B, and she was a great chef, and she did great food for me, and she kept me full the whole time. But other than that, the only thing
Yeah.
I would get, I think there was one restaurant in Galway, and
Cork
one
too.
health food store. So I just stocked up on food. And then, I saw it progressively getting better, like every 2, because we'd go like every 2 or 3 years. And, each time I went, there'd be a veggie burger, whether it was vegan, I'm not so sure, but, I did salads and whatever I could.
Right.
And then it just kind of upped. And then Gretchen, the last time when we went in
Oh
2019,
yeah.
it was
Spectacular.
like off the charts. It was
Yeah.
off the charts, fabulous food there.
Right. Oh no. It's come a tremendous a long way. And I think it's in part because it's become more of a melting pot. Ireland's become, there's a lot of different cultures that have come to Ireland, and
Right.
a lot of them mixed in. And then I think when tourism took a big boom about 10 years ago in Ireland, I think a lot of young chefs went to Ireland. And
Right.
being young and new and innovative, they wanted 2 things they wanted to add to every menu, and that was one vegan dish and one gluten-free dish, because those
We're,
are 2 things. Gluten-free and vegan are 2 things that are in demand.
yeah,
And
but they're
that
totally, just so people know, the non-vegans, gluten-free doesn't mean vegan, and
no,
vegan
it doesn't
doesn't
mean,
mean
no, I think people,
gluten-free.
yeah, everybody,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
think most of the people we're talking to know that.
yeah,
Catherine Oakley, sorry, Catherine Oakland said it was Smithwick's.
Smithwick's. Yeah, did they pronounce it
I thought
Smithwick's?
that was whiskey, wasn't? No,
No,
I'm
it was
not good with
beer.
my alcohol.
It was beer. Yes, she was there. She was with us for that,
Great.
a trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Catherine's been
Yeah.
many times,
Yeah, I
so.
don't think they call it Smithwick's though. It's spelled that way, but they don't pronounce it that way. I'm pretty sure she could probably tell us better.
Catherine,
She
you
probably
tell me, tell us how we pronounce it.
Yeah, they said it some other way, but it was great. It was wonderful beer. And we did the tasting there, which I mean, it's so reasonable too. I think it was something like 10 euros, 3 beers. They gave us, I don't know if we tasted whiskey there too. I don't remember, but I know,
We did in
I,
Northern Ireland.
yeah, we had a lot. It was good. We did, that
We
was,
did do, actually, we did do Irish whiskey tasting. I thought,
we did do it in Kilkenny, but that was a different bar. And then we did
yeah,
it in the Bushmills in Northern Ireland, which is when you go to see the Giant's Causeway, you stop in the Bushmills because it's right across the street. So there's 3 things that are right there all together. It's a Giant's Causeway, which you should allow yourself 2 hours at least. And if you're a good walker, 3, because there are trails and you can download them. Look online, you can download the trails before you go so you know how much time you want to spend there.
right,
They have trails that are, they're the main walk that's 2 hours. It's basically you can walk it, or they have little mini buses that will take you down to the water, and then you can walk around for like an hour and then either take the bus back up or walk back up, which is an easy walk. It's a little uphill, but it's an easy walk. I've done it many times. And or there are real trails that take you all up and down the Wild Atlantic Way.
right.
It's not called Atlantic Way. It's called the Atrium Rim, I think it's called. But it takes you and there are walks that are, I would say the shortest one is 2 hours and the longest one is 6 hours. So depending on how you want to spend your day, you can download those trails and see what you want to do. But they are spectacular walks. I mean, really, really beautiful walks. That area is gorgeous. And then right around the corner, there's the ruins of a castle, which is just a drive-by. You can't go
Right.
into it. Basically, you just stop. You stop fairly close. You can look, take your pictures, and then leave. It's right on the edge of the water, so it's very
That's
picturesque
what
and
I like
beautiful.
about Ireland. You just drive somewhere and there's a
It's
castle
pretty.
run,
Yeah, you just hop out
you know?
and it's pretty. And it's so lush green. Like the picture you have behind you is not doing it justice at all. Because even though there's not a lot of light in Ireland, it's always like a dusk. The emerald green color is
Right.
fantastic. I can't say it enough. It's
Well,
so
I
green.
just wanted this. I wanted to
It,
show this.
yeah, it doesn't really, I mean, you can't really put it in a picture. Pictures don't come out well, how
Right.
green it is. It's really pretty. It's very, very pretty. So, and then once you go from there, you hop over to Bushmills, which Bushmills is the oldest distillery there. And you can go for the tasting, or you can just go into, you can go for the tour and the tasting, or you can just go in the tasting room, whichever one you
Right.
prefer.
And
And
I brought
that's a
home some
great day.
stuff with me.
And right around the corner, there's a restaurant called, I think it's called Tartan, like in the apple pie, the French apple pie tartan. And they have a vegan menu. They do seasonal. They change it every season. So it's not a vegan restaurant, but they have a full set vegan menu. That is a more of an upscale place. It's not soup and salads, it's sit down, it's 3 courses, but it's very, very nice. And it's after a long day like that of running around these 3 spots, it's very nice to sit there. It's a real Irish restaurant. It's a good afternoon. And then if we're going to continue talking about Northern Ireland, we have to talk about the Dark Hedges. That's the Game of Thrones.
That's one of my favorites. I mean, I'm not a Game of Thrones person, but those trees are just so eerie, and so beautiful. And
They're
just,
beautiful.
it's one of my favorite places outside the donkey sanctuary, which we can talk about in a few minutes, but
Well,
yeah,
they made some improvements to the hedges.
yeah,
So the dark woods, the dark hedges, that was the main scene in the Game of Thrones where they went with the carriage ride to the hedges. And before the Game of Thrones, people were allowed to drive through them. But because the Game of Thrones made them so popular, when buses went through, they would damage some of the trees.
right,
So it's been years that they have not allowed anyone to go through them anymore. But last year, they have now created a path. So they have a proper parking area for people to park, because before people would just pull their cars over, then they had like a dirt parking lot, and they had little, just they didn't have any signs or anything. You just saw the hedges and you took a walk. Now they have a direct place for you to go in, and they kind of guide people through a little trail where they have a coffee house, and a
Right.
little visitor center, and you can buy little tchotchkes or your t-shirts and, all that kind of stuff. And then you go through the actual estate that commissioned the hedges to begin with for their house, because the hedges were the entrance to a estate. That's the original purpose of them. And then you walk through the hedges. And the hedges are about, I'd say, like a 20-25 minute walk, and then you got to walk back 25 minutes. So I would give yourself an hour,
Yeah.
an hour and a
Yeah.
half, if you want to take it slowly. It's a leisurely thing. You grab a coffee, you go walk around. They're beautiful. It's a nice walk. It's very easy. It's a great way to stretch your legs after driving around and seeing all this stuff. And then you would head back to Belfast, or if you're staying in Derry, either one is like middle of the road. And then from there, let's think, what else is happening that's new? Oh, we can talk about the donkey sanctuary.
Let's talk
The
about the
only thing,
donkeys. I want to show you the donkey. I'm going to put her in
the
the
only
background.
thing about the donkey sanctuary that I want to point out is that every year we had gone in the morning, and it was fantastic. And then last year I went in the afternoon, and that wasn't that great. And I'll tell you why. Because the sanctuary itself closes at 5. But if you get there at 2 in the afternoon, it's like, I don't know whether the donkeys, they already start to go in at that point.
They're
Like, it's one
tired.
thing.
They don't want the attention anymore.
Yeah, they don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
They're
they're
they're not
done.
interested, and they kind of like, I guess they're used to the time schedule, so they actually go to the barn. And then, because if you've been there in the morning, you just step out on and look over this field and you see like 400 donkeys. It's a sight to see. And they come running when they see people, and they want to hang around you. They want to be pet. They roll in dirt. I mean, they're
They're like
fun to
big
look at.
dogs is what
They're
they're
like
like.
big dogs. They're
And
like
if
big dogs.
anybody saw the movie, what was the new movie? Oh, I'll think of it in a moment, but there was a famous donkey in the movie that just won. It was nominated for an Oscar. Jenny the donkey.
Oh, Jetty the donkey was in the movie? I didn't know that.
She's a famous donkey in this movie. I'll tell you what it was. It was a really good movie, and I'm blanking out. So why don't you just talk a
Well,
little bit more?
you could adopt a donkey for
I
25
which
euro.
this is Julianne, and I
Yeah, we
adopt her
adopt.
every year.
Yeah, Donna adopts a donkey every year. I haven't adopted them every year. I usually adopt one when I go. So if there's been years that I haven't gone, last year I didn't get a chance because, again, I went in the afternoon. So that's the thing. You have to go in the morning, definitely before lunch, because that's the best way to see and enjoy the
The
donkeys. And
Banshees, it's the Banshees of Inisherin, and the main focus of if anybody's interested, it's not the main focus, but one of the main focuses is this donkey that this gentleman has with him, and how attached he is to this donkey and the relationship with her. And it's a tiny donkey. It's not like Julianne here, who's more the size
it's a
of a
mini.
mule, but
It's a miniature.
yeah.
Another good book to read before you go to Ireland is Angela's Ashes.
Oh,
That's a great book to read if
my
you want to.
favorite.
That's about Limerick and
Cry and laugh at the same time.
yeah, but it gives you, it's a good reflection of how harsh
It is
life
and it's not.
was.
The Irish don't like that one, so maybe we shouldn't talk about it too much.
But the Italians are the same way. If you start
Yeah.
talking about the worst of the worst times, they don't want to talk about it. So,
Right.
and that's why they don't like it. So, but it is a good book if you really want to get an insight of what life
But don't go
was
to
like.
Limerick. Limerick is not worth going to.
No, I
I
don't know.
shouldn't say that. It
Yeah,
has
no, I'm
probably
not saying-
changed a lot. It was not.
Oh yeah, this was the book's over 100. The book's over 100 years old. So I
No,
mean,
it's not. It took
Yeah,
place
no.
in the 40s. He was younger than my parents.
Well, it's 2023, Donna, so it's almost 100 years.
Well, 80 years ago, 70
Okay.
years ago, 70 years ago. Yeah.
But anyway, no, but Limerick, no, don't go to Limerick, because Limerick first of all, they have some great lunch places in Limerick.
Oh, good.
Really, really good.
It's
They have a
changed lot.
few, yeah, they have a few, and it's not very touristy, because Limerick isn't a very touristy spot, but they do have some really good stops, and it's like midway between two major tourist sites. So if you're going to stop for lunch in Limerick, that's a good place to stop,
Right, right.
because they have some good spots, and that's a good stop. They have some good things to interesting things to see too, some cathedrals and other stuff. monasteries and things like that. And then, oh, let's see.
What
Well,
was that place in Cork that we went to, that restaurant? Well, Cork City is actually a really kind of cool city.
oh, Cork has so many vegan places
Yeah,
to go. Now, it did take a big hit. The vegan places took a big hit in Cork. I was there last April, and I would say probably 50% of the vegan places closed.
oh, wow,
They used to be like 15 places, and now
yeah,
there's the main three, which is one's a co-op, which is in an old historic building right on the canal.
right,
Then they did have a new they do have a new little pizza place that's not all vegan, but they have both two vegan options, and they have a gluten-free pizza. So you can even have a gluten-free vegan pizza if that's your thing. And then where was the other place we went? And then there's we stayed at the main hotel in Cork. Remember how beautiful we
right.
made our
That was a
breakfast
beautiful
in Cork?
hotel.
So, well, that's the main, it's the Imperial. That's the name of that hotel, the Imperial
Right.
Cork. So, I mean, all the politicians go there because it is the main the four or
But
even
what was
five-star
that
hotel.
restaurant that we went to? Do you remember the name of it?
We did three restaurants. We were in Cork.
There
We
was
did the
one
co-op.
main one, the one that I really remember is the one that had the music in the back. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah, they closed.
they closed.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
called
they were brand new too.
They were called V43, and
That's
they
okay.
closed. Yeah, there's a mother and daughter team. I did go to see them in April. They did cater for us something, but it's not the same. When someone caters for you and they don't do it all the time,
Yeah.
it's not the same. When you have a place and it's opening, they were so good. They were so good. And then the daughter went off and did she works at a local hotel. She does like a spiritual yoga type classes, and she does like health classes and stuff like that. She's still vegan. She just doesn't have her place anymore.
She doesn't have. So Catherine said she read the Frank McCourt book, Angela's Ashes, before her trip
Yeah.
in 2013, and
Yeah.
I helped her out. She also said she got the book Tis from her local library yesterday. That's kind of ironic. I actually have a signed book from Frank McCourt from Tis, the book Tis.
Have you read the book, Tis? I haven't read it.
Yes, I read it. It wasn't as good as Angela's Ashes, but it was still a good read. I somehow got an autographed book that I had appraised, and it's not worth anything.
Yeah. So there's a few really good Irish movies that are really good to see if you want to get some little small towns. There was a really indie film called The Lottery that came out maybe 10, 12 years ago now, but that was it gave such picturesque part of Ireland that was in. And there was a movie, I think it was called Love Letters.
Oh, I
Do you
don't remember. There was one, well, the big one right now is the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah,
which
I haven't
came out.
heard of that.
Oh,
Is
it
this
was
year?
nominated an Oscar. It didn't
This
win,
year?
but it was nominated several Oscars. And
Yeah.
it's dark, but it's funny, but it's dark. And
Oh,
a
no,
little bit of graphic stuff, not a lot, but
yeah.
yeah. There was the one with Hugh Grant.
Oh,
I'll
yes,
get you
this
the
I
list.
did.
That one's probably my favorite. And I'll get you the name of it in 1 second because it was a hilarious movie. Let's see if you can, then there's, you've got John Wayne. He was actually,
That's the Kong area.
that's in the
great.
Kong area.
Yeah. The Quiet Man is the film that he made with Maureen O'Hare in it's about an hour north of Galway.
Right,
And it's a town called Kong. You can go there, and they have all of the original scenes, the original house from The Quiet Man. They
right.
have a little mini museum there. There's a castle. There's a whole bunch of things that you can go and see in that area. And that's a nice afternoon, because right from there you go to the Ashford Castle.
Right. Oh God,
Which is-
that place is great. And
Yeah,
anybody who's doing a
great.
honeymoon, I usually put them in there for a night or two because they have
And
to
they
go
have
there.
they have a full Irish lunch, a full Irish dinner,
Yeah.
and they have a high tea. And they do that in the St. George room, which is spectacular. It's a really, if you want the real, Ireland isn't the place for high tea because it's really a British
That's
tradition,
a
not
bridge.
an
Yeah,
Ireland
Northern
tradition.
Ireland is more like that.
But in at the ash at that castle, they have a proper high tea and a proper room. I mean, it's really nice. They also have the um a gentleman there bought the Queen Elizabeth tugboat. It holds 80 people and it goes from the castle around the lake. I think there's 2 or 3 lakes right there with small little islands. And on one of the islands, there's a monastery. So you take the Queen Elizabeth tugboat out to the island. They give you a tour for 45 minutes and then they
Yeah.
take you back to the castle. So that's wonderful.
There is a show, and I finally gave in and watched the series, and you guys are gonna know it as soon as I say it. I think there was like 6 seasons, the Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
I-
Oh, yeah.
It took me a while to get into it, but it was
No, but
really well put together, and it really talked about the times of that era in Ireland. So if you ever want to get sort of a historical view of it, that's the thing to do. But so that was a really good one.
but you can't understand anything they're saying though.
Well,
Because
I put it on subtitles.
you have to, because
You
you can't
have to.
understand a word. You can't understand a word they're saying.
I'm trying to see some of the other, there's some other really good ones in here, and The Commitments is another one. That's a really good one.
So all
Once
these things, all these movies and things like that will get you really excited.
if
And
you
the
want to
books.
see, yeah, if you want to see movies about music in Ireland, Once was fabulous. That's with Glenn Hansard, and I actually went to see him live, and he's kind of like the Irish Bruce Springsteen of the world. He's
Oh, yeah.
really good. Yeah, there was, I mean, that was some great music in there. And by the way, I found something when I was there last time that I didn't know about, which I really enjoyed, was they have the Irish Rock and Roll Hall of Museum in
Oh,
Dublin.
where did we see that? Was that in Dublin?
You
Where did
didn't
we
see it.
that?
I found it on my own. I went
What
off
was
on
it,
my
Galway?
own.
What town was it
No,
in?
it was in Dublin.
It was in Dublin.
Apparently the Stones have played at this museum. Rod Stewart has played there. All these big names have played there, but the big band, I'm getting old when I can't remember this. The big band in Ireland, he was the boys are back in town. That was the song. And it Thin Lizzy. That's who it was. He's huge there. Like, he was just more than anybody. He was the name there, and they just worship him there. They have statues of him in front of it and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of and that's like what I said. Ireland, you can go back year after year after year. It's one of those places that, and you don't spend. I don't think Ireland's very expensive. It's not super expensive. The food can be a little expensive, on the expensive side,
yeah,
but everything else is pretty doable. And Ireland is like an open air museum, so there's tons of free things to do. There's
right.
tons of walks. There's tons of things that you can go see that you don't have to spend any money on. So if you do it right, I would say, spend your money on the guides and the must see spots and getting into certain places, et cetera, et cetera. But you can fill a lot of occasions. You can go again and again and again, and it's going to be like a second home to you, especially if you live on the East Coast, because Ireland is very affordable. The flights are very affordable. I can remember before COVID. Now things have gotten weird after COVID. I have to say, everything is weird right now. But I hopefully, cross our fingers, everything will start going back to normal again. Right before COVID, they had tickets round trip $99 from Boston, Philadelphia, New York.
What airline was that? That Wow
It
airline?
was no, it was the Irish airline.
Oh, Aer Lingus.
Right. They did a special. And they had tickets. I think it was $99 round trip. And then they had like 20 something dollars if from like Washington DC, Miami. And once it got farther down, like Chicago was 189. I think it was like 300 from San Francisco. I mean, they did some really, and I'm sure they're going to do that again. I'm so sure. You know, because
Not
Ireland's
right now,
very
they're
good.
not,
Well, I
unfortunately.
mean, it's still COVID made everything weird, and I think that
Yeah,
this year is going to be the last weird year for COVID, 2023. I really do believe it because last year everything's so much better than 2021, and then everything's so much better than 2022. And I feel like 2023 is just going to just knock everything out of the park, and then we're just going to be back to normal again because I
yeah.
really do feel like things are really,
I think next year is going to be the year that it
yeah,
gets back to normal.
it's really, yeah, the gas prices will be normal again and everything will be
Yeah.
smoothing out. Okay. So do we have anything else we want to add? I mean, I think we covered some new stuff. We covered some main sites. We gave you some stuff to read, stuff to watch. Um, we filled you in on some the vegan food.
I
Uh,
think that's about it. I mean, the whiskey, there's if anybody is worried there's not any nightlife there, you don't
oh,
ever have to worry. There's a pub in every corner.
yeah, but not even that. I mean, they just have so much going on. I mean, all year round. Ireland's one of the places you can literally go all year round. Like, I don't recommend that for Europe. I don't.
Right.
I think that Europe is mainly April to October. And depending on where you're going, where you're going in Europe, we want to avoid
I would
July
say,
15th to the end
mm,
of August.
yeah, I would say January and February, you might want to hold out. It might, it has, I did go when it snowed in March many years ago, but it was only like an inch. That's the one thing. It doesn't really, I
Yeah,
mean,
they don't have bad
they'll get
weather.
ice storms, but they don't get
Yeah,
the snowstorms that we get on the East
yeah.
Coast
Yeah,
or
but
right now on the West
they're
Coast.
also, they're like the Northeasterners, they're ready for the snow. They're ready for the wet. They're ready. I don't know if they're ready for the snow, but they're ready for the wet. They're
Right.
always ready to be wet. And so I think when you go there, you have to be ready to be wet too. And that we're always wet. I mean, every time I go to Scotland and Ireland, I am wet. So I wear I have the silicone shoes
And every,
my little boots, and they're the best way to go. As long as you keep your head and your feet dry, you're fine.
and every time I go, it's like they're having a drought.
Oh
The
yeah,
past
yes.
two times I've
Bring,
gone, it was like a drought and it was like 85 degrees. So you never know
yeah.
in Ireland. You just bring layers. That's it.
Yes,
You
yes, but I
layer
do
up.
have a lined coat that I have packed for my Ireland bag. So I have a suitcase I have just for Ireland. It has my poncho that folds up into a small pouch, my silicone boots. I have a jacket that has a full liner in it that you can
Right.
zip it out. So if it's cold, I put the lining in. If it's warm, I take the lining out, and it still has a hood because you need a hood.
Right.
You don't need an umbrella. Don't bring an umbrella.
No,
It just causes too
it's a
much
waste.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, it causes too much trouble. You need a hood, and you need a hood that closes. So when it's windy and it rains, you're not full of wet.
Right.
And that's it. I mean, and I keep that all the time for Ireland, ready to go with a couple plugs, the outlets for my phone and my laptop or whatever. And I just keep that in my closet. And when I'm ready to go, I'm pull it out, throw my seasonal clothes in, and we go.
I'm ready to
So
go.
Ireland's also very casual. There's no need for really fancy clothes or stuff like that. It's a very casual place. It is trendy and young, so you want to, but they're casual dressers. You don't have to worry about too
The
much.
one last thing I would say is the music on the streets was some of the best music I've ever heard. Some of the bands there were great. And that's the movie Once actually kind of spotlights that.
Mm.
The street musicians, because they're phenomenal. They really are.
Yeah, but that's for every pub. I mean, the Irish
I'm talking
are
about on the streets.
fantastic, but in the streets or in the pubs or anywhere that they play music. I mean, when you go
Yeah.
to hear the pub music, it's not like one guy on a little banjo. It's like seven people.
Yeah.
They have a cello, a violinist, a flute, a tambourine. I mean, they got it all. I mean, it's not like they cram these seven people in a corner somewhere and they play for all night.
Hours.
Yes. So and people sing and it's that's why I'm saying it's a vacation that you could take all the time. It's like going home. So
Right.
it's definitely worth
So Gretchen, you want
investing.
to, well, if you don't mind, I'll just tell you. So if anybody's interested, well, first off, Gretchen has 2 spots on a tour, which I'll talk about in a second. But just so you guys know, if you want to do your own thing, you can contact me. I do independent tours, so I can set you up with hotels, car rentals, and any type of extra tours that you want to do. And I'll help you along the way decide where to go and what's to do is best. I will tell you something. I have a lot of people that think they can go to Ireland and see everything in a week, and it's I have somebody, I'm not going to say the person's name, but I have somebody who is literally staying in one spot every day. And I think that's an exhausting trip. Some people like those trips, and that's totally fine. But if you really want to get a flavor of the country, I would say base yourself in one area and go and do day trips from there. All right. So you're not unpacking, the whole time. Now, that said, Gretchen's got a trip coming up. When is it? July? When is it?
It is, yeah, it's in July. I have a trip I have a pre-tour that goes to Belfast right behind
Right.
me. We stay at a little hotel right behind this city hall. And it's right by the Crown Bar. If anybody knows that old bar, it's one of the prettiest bars in Belfast, and we're literally across the street. Um, that starts, let's see, it starts on Friday, July 14th
Okay.
is the pre-tour, and then the main tour starts on Saturday the 16th until no, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong dates. I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday the 14th, and then the main tour starts Monday, July 17th to the 24th. Okay,
There's 2
so
spots left or
yes,
2 rooms
I
left.
only have 2 rooms left.
So you can take up
Okay.
to 4 people, right?
Yeah, I can take singles or doubles. I have 2 rooms left, but I also want to tell everybody that I am going to open a second tour. I know that
Woohoo.
there were some people that the summer dates didn't work for. I really want to try the Derry Halloween. So I'm going to do it for the last week of October. I'm going to post it very soon. I was just working on it today. I hope to be able to get all the reservations, hotel reservations in place by the end of next week and have it posted for everybody. So if you do, or if you are interested in either the tour that's almost closing, or you're interested in going to Ireland in the end of October, you can either email Donna or email Donna for now because I don't have anything online yet. But Donna has my Ireland tour posted on her website currently, so you can see the itinerary for that.
I'm going to put my email address, whoops, in here so you guys will have it. If I can get my fingers to work right. But you can go to donna@greenearthtravel.com and I'm happy to help you out.
Yeah, and I'll say this, if anybody's interested, please, please, please get your flights immediately.
Yes.
Don't wait. This year, there's so many people traveling, people are having a hard time getting flights. So
Well,
if
not
you
only
are,
that, but I've been working with I have this one tour operator I work with. They're not even booking any B&Bs because everything is so full after May. So, I think in the fall, it's going to be a lot easier, but the summer, it's going to be really hard to get any type of hotels if you're doing your own thing. If you're going
Yeah,
with
there's
Gretchen,
nothing.
she's got it
Yeah.
booked and ready to go.
There's nothing right now. I mean, I literally only have these 2 rooms. If I needed to get an extra room, I wouldn't be able to get it.
Right.
I block these rooms in December, and
Right.
even then,
And then it was tight.
these were the most amount of rooms I could get. This is going to be a very, very busy year. And I think even in September and October, because for my other tours, I am all booked for all of September and all of October already. So,
Right.
I mean, I really want to try this Derry. This is the first time I'd be in Derry for Halloween. I've been to Derry many times, but not for Halloween. So I really wanted to try it this year. And I have some other clients that I booked for them to go. So I'm really excited. I got really excited about it. And I thought, it's going to be a small group. I'm going to take like 12, 16 people tops. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and it'll be like the end of the season, and it should be really good. So I'm hoping that we can get those 12 people together that really want to go and Be a fun time.
So come join Gretchen. I won't be there this year, maybe next year, and go by and say hi to Julianne because she's my
Well,
favorite.
maybe you can come in October, Donna. Maybe you can come.
Well, we'll
You should
talk.
think about it. It's the
Uh,
last week in October.
Well, yeah, I'll be going on a cruise. That's another story right
Okay.
after that, so I can't. But anyway, go say hi to Julianne. Maybe you can adopt her. I'm willing to share an adoption with her. She was the only donkey that was born at the shelter at that time. I don't know if there's other donkeys there now that were born there,
I
but
don't
she's
know.
also the shyest of all the donkeys. So that's why I liked her, because believe it or not, I'm actually kind of shy.
Good. That was a great day. The donkeys are always fun. They're always a
Fun.
good time. Yeah.
Yes. So, and if you have any questions, post them in the chat back below and I'll be sure to answer them. And Gretchen and I are talking about doing a Zoom webinar on Croatia sometime next week, where you'll actually be able to come and join us and talk to us in person, plus see the video. So
Yeah, because Croatia is a tour I'm doing in the end of June, the last week of June. It's the best week to go. We have a beautiful ship and I
Right.
only have 6 cabins left, but the closing date is in 3 weeks. So we really want to sell these last 6 cabins and it's a
Right.
fantastic trip. This is the 3rd year we're doing it. So it's a lot of fun and it's the best, one of the best ship, the best week to be on the Mediterranean. So
and you can see the other scenes from the Game of Thrones there.
yes, that's true. You can, and they do
I'm
it.
so not a Game of Thrones person, and
It
yet I
actually
know where
runs
it all is.
It runs back to back. The
know.
Croatia tour and the Ireland tour
So-
run back to back. You have
Oh,
a few
really?
days
So
off
you
in
could go.
between.
So
So
go to
if you,
Ireland
yes, if
and
this
then
is
go
the
to
year,
Croatia.
if this
She's
is the
got
year you want to
spots
make
open.
up, I have some guests doing it. I have some guests doing it, so you won't be alone. So it is, if this is the year you really want to catch up on your travel, you could do it.
I did it last year, but I'm probably going to do it again next year. Last year I went to like 7 countries. It was
Yeah, good.
exhausting, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Okay. We're going to say
thanks.
Happy Patty's Day for tomorrow.
Yes, have a
Hope
beer,
everybody has
have
a
a
safe
Guinness
and
now that
happy-
it's vegan. We're
Yes,
gonna
have a happy,
Guinness tomorrow.
safe celebration. And I hope to see you all in Ireland or beyond.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Good night.
All right. All right, I stopped the live streaming. It's still recording, so let me just get that.